So recently I made a reaction to a video where two American guys were talking about their life in Germany and talking about things that were different in Germany compared to the US. And there was a couple of things they mentioned that I didn't really agree with their actions in doing, and I thought could be construed as being quite disrespectful to Germany. Things like they never really cared about the rules of the road. They talked about speeding and getting speeding tickets, not just in Germany but around Europe, and not really caring about it. They also talked about doing the toilet at the side of the street so they didn't have to pay €1 to use a public bathroom. So for me, like, these things are just quite unacceptable. For me, I'm a foreigner in another country. I live in Malaysia. I'm from the UK. And for me, I've always said I just try to act the best I possibly can at every moment. Try and treat any country you live in with the most respect. And on that video, someone asked me to check out this one, which might explain some more things you shouldn't do in Germany. This is Visit Germany, the don'ts of visiting Germany. So thought this would be interesting to see what other things you shouldn't do or that are frowned upon in Germany. So let's check these out. If you're from Germany, tell me what you think about these and what things should you not do in Germany.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World. Today we're in Munich, and today what we have for you are the don'ts of traveling Germany. Because there's so many things you should do, like visit Munich here, or going to Berlin or the Harz Mountains. There's so many great things to do here, but there's a few cultural don'ts you should know, so when you come here, you can have a better time. And the first don't I have for you is don't assume Germans are these cold, unfriendly, uncaring people that we've kind of been taught by stereotypes throughout the years. Germans are actually really wonderful people. They're helpful, they're kind, they're honest, extremely honest. And the thing is, to see that, you need to ask them for your help. Ask them for some guidance and they'll be glad to help you. And that's the thing, is some people think, oh, German service isn't very nice. Well, the thing is, German service is very professional. And if you ask them for help, I guarantee they will know the entire background of every meal you have and everything in the shoe store and all kinds of stuff. They'll be able to help you. But don't think that they're these cold-hearted people, because Germans really are super nice. And if you make a German friend, I guarantee they will be with you until the end. They make the best friends ever. So that's the first thing, is don't think they're bad people.
That I kind of can agree with, because I think that's the same for every country. You know, like every country, there can be stereotypes, and a lot of countries get a reputation for having people who are rude and this and that. But actually, when I've met people living in Malaysia from all over the world, and every country has just amazing people, and I'm sure that's the same with Germany. I have a German friend, and people in the comments of my videos have been super friendly, writing some amazing comments I really enjoy reading. So I can agree with that. For me, I don't really have any I don't really have any stereotypical thought of German people, just that they're just normal people. But tell me if you think that's true. Like, do you feel that stereotype? Do you feel that people have that stereotype of German people, that they're unfriendly? I've never heard that before. And how are German people? Does it vary between the different cities and regions? Or are people just generally friendly and nice?
Now, my second don't for you is don't cross against the light. You know, don't jaywalk. Germans really, 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 really like their rules, and they really, 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 really don't like people breaking them.
I think that's
and
fair
that will
enough.
mean tourists as well. And one of the biggest things is crossing when the light is red. They don't like that. I lived multiple years in Germany, 3 years in Germany, and there's been quite a few times where a grandma, an Oma, stops me and says, hey, bei Rot musst du stehen. By grün lass du gehen, which means by red you stay, by green you're allowed to go. And that's one of the things, is the Germans do like those rules, but the biggest one that a tourist doesn't want to do is don't jaywalk. Also, you can get a fine for that, so heads up on that one.
Yeah, I've heard the one about getting a fine before on one of the previous videos, but is that really that strict? Because for me, I will just cross the road anywhere. The only place I've been that sounds similar to Germany is Japan. Like, people there really... There can be a small road with no traffic anywhere, and they will wait for the light to turn green. Is it really that strict, or do people just cross the road here and there? I would find that quite difficult to follow, honestly, but
now,
I would.
Our third tip for you has to do with the Pfand, the deposit. don't just throw away your bottles, like your big bottles or cans, and don't just leave your Christmas market mugs and stuff like that out, because you have to put a deposit on a lot of these things. For example, if you're at the Christmas markets and you get those cute mugs that everyone loves to get, look, usually you're going to be paying between 3 and 5 euros for the deposit on those mugs, and if you walk off with it, great, you have a cool souvenir. But the thing is, do you really want 8 of the exact same mug? For example, we were here in Munich and we got Glühwein and Kinderpunsch, the children version of it, and there was 8 of us. So that was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 euros of a deposit. I'm like, whoa! I got to use that 100 euro shine, that 100 euro note that I've never got to use before, just on the deposit. And make sure you're turning those things in. Don't just throw it away, because it actually does add up after a while. So save those.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would definitely
if you're invited to go to a German's house, because you know what, if they like you, they probably will invite you. They are really nice like that. But if you're going to go to their house, don't forget to bring either flowers or wine or candy. Okay, that's kind of a typical thing you bring over there. Also, don't wear your shoes inside. When you come in, take your shoes off. Sometimes they even have house slippers for you when you get there for their guests, but it's kind of rude to have your shoes on inside the house, so just know that. So make sure you do bring something to their house if you get to be, if you get really invited to their house. It is really cool. Now, the fifth don't
I think that's a good thing, actually. It's just a sign of respect for the person that's going to be welcoming you to their house. Something that happens more often in the UK. Like when I go to someone's house, you'll definitely take like a bottle or something, or take them some small gift, or take something for their kids or something like that. But here in Asia, I feel like it's just not a thing at all. Like, people just go to houses and just go. They don't take any gifts or anything. When I first dated my wife, I would take things for her parents when visiting, just as a sign of respect again, and obviously trying to like become like respected by the family and stuff. But now, so long later, like, it's not really a thing anymore. But is that very common? Do you follow that if you live in Germany?
I have for you actually is specifically for tourists that I've been seeing a lot lately when I've been traveling through Germany, especially Berlin. People have been using the Jewish memorial in Berlin, with the stone blocks and stuff, kind of like a parkour course, or this is the place to make the coolest selfies in Berlin. And people are climbing up them, jumping across them, doing silly pictures, duck face. It's a memorial
ridiculous,
to dead Jewish people. What the heck? What is wrong with you? I mean, this is not something you do. You don't do that. Also, at the concentration camps, we're seeing more and more people doing their duck face selfies. Look, this is where they burned everybody. I'm like, are you kidding me? So please have respect for people when you go to the concentration camps and the memorials and things like that, because the Germans show respect, for the horrible things that happen, and we as tourists need to do a better job as well. So don't be a tool when you're visiting some of these concentration camps, okay, or these memorials, all right?
The fact he has to actually say that to people is unbelievable. I cannot believe people disrespect any type of monument, never mind something that is so horrific or so paying such respect to such a horrific situation. I kind of knew this is something I knew. I knew people took like selfies there, because I seen it in a news article a couple of years ago that people were taking selfies, and I was thinking that's just ridiculous. It's like, people have no respect, man, these days. I don't know, that's the thing. Who is it that's actually doing that? Is it the younger generation? Is it people from certain countries? People of a certain age? Is it older people that don't know any better from other countries? What do German people think? Is that the most annoying thing? Is it really piss you off? It would piss me off. It pisses me off. I'm not even from Germany. I'm not even Jewish. I just think that historical monuments and things from anywhere should just be treated with 100% respect. It makes me almost sick to hear people doing things like that. When he said parkour, I was thinking, like, what on earth, man? How is that possible that people can that's desecrating those monuments by jumping all over them? Never mind taking selfies, but that's horrific for me.
Now, My sixth don't for you is don't wait. Look, whether it's a line or you're ordering food, you don't wait in Germany. Germans are go, go, go. We are very efficient. We want to get things done. So you're going to be on time for things, all right? Very punctual is important. But for a tourist, when you go to restaurants, what you need to do is when they give you the menu, look in it right away so you can order right away. Because it's not like in the US where they come back every 2 minutes to see us, need anything now, need anything now. They come when they come. So if you get that chance, make sure you do place your order, get your drinks and your food in and things like that. And when you want to get your bill, you ask for the bill. They'll come right away with their big wallet, okay? And you pay them right there. And when you pay them, you'll say, let's say it's a 27 euro bill, you will say 30. You just say the total amount you want to pay, and they'll put that down for you, okay? So then they give you the change back from that, okay? But don't wait. Like once they seat you, they give you a menu, it's time to order, okay? When they come and ask. Because if you wait, you might be waiting a long time. Now my seventh don't for you is don't experiment on the Autobahn. Okay, I know the Autobahn sounds really cool. Yes, driving without speed limits. Look, I've driven on the Autobahn before. There's a reason why I go on public transport. It can be really scary because we were going about 100 miles an hour, like 140K. We're going and we're in the right lane because there's BMWs and Mercedes going, and you just see them go by like, wow. And it's kind of dangerous when you're out there, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So please, if you're not comfortable with these fast speeds, make sure you don't experiment on the Autobahn. Stick with the public transport. It will take you everywhere here, which is so awesome about Germany. Now, my eighth...
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Like I did make a reaction video to the Autobahn, and like I can see the speed that some people drive, but it's like just treating the road again, like treating it with respect and not going on there like if you don't want to drive properly or you can't drive properly. It's like no point going on there and causing an issue for other people who want to use it as it should be used. So I agree with that. And tell me what your experiences of driving on the Autobahn are if you're from Germany.
Eighth don't for you is don't expect to shop on Sundays. Look, most of Germany
this one comes
is
up
closed
quite a
on
lot.
Sundays, except for museums and restaurants. So if you want to do your shopping kind of stuff, if you're here for a long weekend, do it on Friday or Saturday, because on Sunday, a lot of the stuff is closed. Now, the things that usually tend to be open on Sundays, things that are attached to the train station. So if there's a mall attached to the train station, that'll probably open. Also in December, they'll have Sunday hours, a lot of places. But just know, basically on Sunday, everything's basically closed. Also on Mondays, a lot of the museums are closed. So if you're gonna do a long weekend, including that Monday, make sure you check and see and say, hey, let's do our tourism stuff on Saturday and Sunday and do our shopping on Monday. My ninth don't for you is don't forget to have cash. Look, Germans, yes, they have credit cards, but they prefer cash. Yes, have your euros ready. There's ATMs all over the place you can use, but you really want to have cash with you because they don't accept credit cards everywhere. A lot of places they do, and a lot of times you need to have a chip card, for your credit cards and stuff like that for everything to work. But just know that cash is king here in Germany, so don't forget to keep some with you just so you have it. And my 10th don't...
But is Germany moving towards like more cashless society, like especially after COVID? I know that here in Malaysia it's almost completely cashless. Not only do people just use credit and debit cards, but they use like e-wallets. I'm not sure if e-wallets are a thing in Germany or popular, but here pretty much everybody uses them everywhere. But it really seems like they're phasing cash out. There'll still be like most places still accept cash, but it really feels like they're moving away from that. But it surprises me that Germany isn't that way. I thought Germany would be moving towards that too. But I can see why people would prefer to carry cash.
For you with coming to Germany is realize that you don't just see half-tempered houses here. Germany is not just a stereotype of half-tempered houses and beer halls. There's so much more to Germany. Whether you're going to Berlin, where they have the Potsdamer Platz and all this new stuff there, or you're here in Munich, where the tech stuff is booming, or Hamburg, which is a rebuilt city. I mean, you have all these cool modern cities here in Germany, and it's not just half-tempered houses. And the thing is, you can see the half-tempered houses, Quedlinburg and Wernigerode and Goslar and the Harz Mountains. Oh, my heart just falls in love with that place. Here in Bavaria, go to Regensburg and Bamberg, Oberammergau. You can get that old Germany, but also you have very modern Germany as well. So make sure you explore both sides. Don't just try to think it's going to be half-tempered houses, but experiment all the wonders of Germany. Anyway, I hope this helps you out to have a better time when you are here in Germany. If you have other don'ts about...
Yeah, if you have any other don'ts, tell me in the comments. But yeah, I really like that last one as well, because when I've been watching these videos about Germany, I do love seeing all that sort of historical architecture and classic architecture of these very unique German buildings. But for me, like personally, I also just love modern architecture and like nice, modern, clean buildings. And I love that Germany has a good mixture of both of them as well. But all of them, I can completely get on board with all of them. Nothing there is difficult to follow if you're going to Germany. Again, if you ever feel like jumping across any historical monument, especially one that's to do with concentration camps and things like that, just don't, man. Why would you? It's just pointless. It's weird. It's just, I mean, I feel sad that people do that. But tell me what you think about them. Tell me some other don'ts. Thanks.